Get ready.
Why bother? Why bother? I just don't understand why we keep getting films like these. I guess all people want is the same thing they saw before with a new coat of paint on. I wasn't too sure what I'd expect from a live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon, but this was the most boring outcome imaginable. A shot for shot remake of the original animated movie, but now in live action. Why? Yes, it is quite literally the same movie. Some of the characters might look a little different, and there's no cartoonish slapstick, which was barely even in the original film, mind you. But other than that, this is the same exact movie you've seen a million times before. Maybe you aren't like me and haven't seen this movie before, and if that's the case, I guess I get it a little more. As far as the movie goes, it's not like it's incompetent. It looks nice, and the acting is good enough. I especially like Gerard Butler, who's doing the exact same role he did before, but now in live action. Awesome. The sets also look good and are mostly practical, which is always appreciated. The dragons themselves also look pretty good, and Toothless still looks like my cat, and that's nice. That doesn't change the fact, however, that there's literally no reason why this should exist other than the almighty dollar. Is this really what people want? The same thing just fed back to them over and over and over again? A movie like this sort of depresses me. I don't think movies need to be updated or remastered for a new generation. I actually find the idea sort of counterintuitive to this whole art thing. A piece should be able to stand on its own. It doesn't need to have to be retooled for a new generation. Sure, the movie may look a little bit old now, but honestly, that's fine. I've shown the original to family members who are younger, and they still love it. I don't think kids need things and the biggest and baddest visuals imaginable to enjoy them. The shit they watch on YouTube is anything but that. It looks amateurish as hell. That makes me wonder if this was made for people who grew up with this and want a cool, badass version. If that's the case, I really hate that sort of thinking. Why be ashamed of what you like? This movie has no real reason to exist other than to make money, and people are just fine with that. It's fine to not be challenged and get the same thing force fed back to us. I'm honestly worried about what this means for the future of cinema and how the Disney remake likes we will get because of the success of this and Lilo and Stitch. While Lilo and Stitch was by far a much, much, much worse movie that will definitely have its time in this channel, probably some big video about a whole bunch of those terrible remakes, I can at least say it tried to do something new. Did it fail on just about every count? Yeah, absolutely. However, it did try to diverge a bit, even if that meant shitting all over the message of the original, but I digress. How to Train Your Dragon does nothing new or challenging. It's the same movie again. No challenge, no thinking to be had. They even brought back the same director, writer, and composer. While this movie is very watchable, it will never be anything on its own. It's simply a copy of a far more interesting idea and work. A copy can never be anything more than that. You know, it is a little depressing seeing just how many people I know personally who love this movie when it's basically just doing the same thing. But so many didn't like Stitch for changing, which, I mean, I agree, that movie does suck, but this is literally just the same thing again. I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but come on. Can't we ask for something better? Can't we ask for something new? Even if it's the same IP, just give us something different. But I feel like every company is too scared of some sort of backlash online for not being true to the source material, quote unquote, and they just want to see the same stories again and again and again, and it's just so boring. I think that's the worst part of it. I'm just so bored with all of it. There's nothing new, it feels like. At least not from the big movies. Indie films and smaller films is a whole other story, and we get cool things from there all the time, but I don't know. Mainstream film just they need some sort of push, some sort of kick. There needs to be something new for the kids to be in that's not completely stupid. Just a thought. Hey, just something a little short. Yeah, I just got back basically from watching this like probably like 2 hours ago or something. And I don't know, I was just so upset. I literally paid to watch the same thing again. Like, even bother. It's beat for beat. Yeah, repeating myself again, but yeah, I'm just kind of upset by it. But hey, maybe you disagree. Maybe there's something you saw in this movie that I am just too blind to see. If that's the case, please tell me or yell at me or whatever you want. I just cannot stand a movie like this, just conceptually. But hey, more like this coming and bigger stuff planned. Always thanking my editor, Barl, and thanks to you for watching this video. And I hope me shitting on this movie, if you like it, doesn't make you feel too bad. It's just opinions. They're all subjective. Don't worry about it. See ya.